Morning, peoples. How you feeling? It's your girl, Sexy Sapphire. And first and foremost, before we get started, forgive any kind of ding you hear while we on here, because I got my Facebook loaded in the background, and I don't feel like closing it, and I got my phone right here, and it's dinging and stuff, and so just work with me. You might have a couple dings every now and then. Hi, it's been a while. I haven't done a video blog in like a month. Today's like March the 20th or 21st or something like that. I know. I've been gone too long. I'm sorry. I missed y'all too. I really did. But every now and then, my life gets a little overwhelming and sometimes I have to disappear. And it's not necessarily I disappear, but this version of me disappears, and one of the other versions of me are roaming around in my body and stuff. And so I've been around, y'all seen me, and well, y'all ain't seen me, but y'all heard me on social media, and I've been posting and stuff, and I've updated the websites a few times. Y'all know I'm here. And hopefully y'all caught my 2 radio interviews earlier this month. I've been trying to grind. But today, it's like 7 in the morning as usual, right? I decided that it was time to catch up on video blogs and fill you guys in for those who don't follow me on social media or who haven't been keeping up. I never want you to be left out in the journey that is my life. I want you to follow me, and I'm happy that you actually come back to watch the videos and keep up with what's going on with me, because as I often try to explain, my life is really a lot more complicated than it would appear from my social media. I make myself look as normal as possible, but it's hard when you're battling mental illness and trying to be a parent and trying to run your own business and trying to navigate life and dating, and really, like, it's a little much. And lately it's got quite overwhelming, but overwhelming isn't always a bad thing, because there's been some good and there's been some bad. There's been some amazing things that's happened in the last 30 days. And I'm going to try to fill you in. I'm going to try to fill you in. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to my new business, my new video series that I'm going to be starting. So we'll have 3 Sexy Sapphire video series to enjoy now. Lucky you. And we're going to talk about all the things I have going on, and I'm going to use this one video as like a whole what you've missed in the last month kind of video. And then I can go back and edit and pull out smaller pieces for certain things and stuff, or I might even do a whole new video. Like, this video gonna be a catch-up video, so anything you to miss, you gonna get here. And then you can go look for the other videos describing all the things that I'm gonna break down, because first and foremost, we got to do a catch-up, and then after that we can handle. And I need you to forgive me because I'm moving my arms a lot today, and that's for 2 reasons. One, they hurt so bad today. My arms are extremely sore, to like where just doing this hurts. And so that's part of the reason why I'm moving it, is because it hurts, and the other part is because it feels better to stretch and move them. So I've been stretching my arms all morning, and it's like my yoga cannot fix what's going on with my arms. This is the fibromyalgia. I have a chronic pain disease, and every now and then, my body just hurts in unconventional ways, and it could attack any part of my body at any given time. I have days where I go to get out of bed and my feet are too screwed up to walk. I have days where I go to get out of bed and my feet might feel fine, but my legs don't work. I go to stand up and they buckle like spaghetti, and I'll have a bed day. Today is one of those days where I woke up and my arms just, they're not what they should be. thankfully I can use them. You know, some people don't know, but in 2010 I lost the use of my left arm. No, my right arm. I lost mobility in my right arm in 2010, which really sucked because I'm right-handed. And I had to go to therapy to learn how to retrain my arm to write and do all the things that it was supposed to normally do. The fibromyalgia had just gotten that bad for me. But 2010 again was the year I had 10 outpatient surgeries. And I say that and people be like, where the hell was I? And I'm like, man, 2010 was a rough year for me. Like, I never let it show as far as my business. Nobody knew that I was really screwed up, but I was living in a boarding house. I was going through extensive surgery. I couldn't work. My money was gone. If my disability wouldn't have came in December of 2010, I don't know where I'd be, because 2010 was a hard year. But it's 7 years later now. It's 2017 and I'm still standing. And walking too. And so, like, I always try to tell people, your worst struggle doesn't have to kill you. Oftentimes we make things a lot worse on ourselves than they are because we have a hard time dealing with it. And the way you deal with something really matters. It does. Like, if something bad happens and you just climb the bed and be like, oh, my whole life is over, it's ruined, and I don't know what I'm going to do from now on, then it's really going to get screwed up, because while you have the option of fixing some things and trying to maneuver your life, you're in bed being depressed. So your situation is just continuously spiraling into worse. And so, you have to face your problems head on. And that's part of, my new business is the fact that, I'm legally disabled. I've been through unimaginable circumstances in my childhood that formed the person that I am as an adult. When you not only suffer but survive rape, molestation, especially long-term molestation, domestic violence in your home, witnessing your parents' murder, losing another parent to an illness that causes them to waste away. When you're on the street prostituting at 15 to eat, the adult you can be a little screwed up. There's some people who are 100% shocked at how stable I am. And I mean, my former therapist included. I was seeing her for 7.5 years. And she is continuously amazed at how stable I am, no matter how unstable I feel. She tells me all the time she sees people who have been through things that I've been through and similar, who are so far gone off the deep end that I look like, Mother Teresa to them. There are people who are strung out on drugs, people who are so mentally screwed up that they're now homeless because they can't function to get their lives together. There are people who are doing the same things to others that were done to them, because hurt people do hurt people. There are people who have lived through the things that I lived through, who became hard and cruel, and now they are out here causing harm to others, not even necessarily in the same way that it was caused to them, just because they have these sicknesses. And so when people find out that I'm mentally ill and that I suffered and survived the things that I did, it's a testimony to the power of your creator, the power of wanting to be better, and the power of fighting no matter what. And I call my creator because I want to speak to everyone. I want to reach everyone. I don't want to drop a bunch of religious things into my blogs or my videos and then people feel like they have to back away. I'll tell you, if just so you understand, I'm non-denominational. I believe in one God. I'm very, very spiritual, but not religious at all. So I will talk to you about the universe working in your favor. I will talk to you about your creator and being one with whatever you feel is higher than you. Because all of us have something that we hold on to and trust in and believe. And it doesn't have to be God. And it doesn't have to be some particular religion. I've tried it. I've been through religions. It's not for me. Every religion I've tried, I felt like I got further away from my creator. And I don't want anything standing in between me and whoever makes the sun rise every day, or whatever makes the flowers bloom. Like, I am so in tune with nature that I don't need to call any person. You know, I feel that whatever creates nature put me here. That's just how I feel about it. So I will talk to you about spirituality. I will talk to you about a higher power. I will never try to tell you what that is for you. I will never tell you that how you worship, what you believe is wrong. You know, it's really weird because, you know, I come from being a whore in a past life. And my best friend of the last 16 years almost is a minister. And people say, how the hell can a minister and a whore be friends? And I tell them, you never know who God is going to... He believes in God. You never know who God's going to put in your life. And he used to tell me that I'm going to speak God's word. And I used to tell him that I can't speak God's word because I grew up in churches. And I couldn't speak that stuff that I heard in churches. I can't stand up from the pulpit and tell people what I think and then try to wrap it into religion. But what I do believe is that I'm going to lead a church one day. Ain't that crazy? I think it's crazy. But I believe it. And you know why I believe it? Because to me, church isn't what you think church is probably. Church is a building where people go once a week to, yeah, whatever. No, I don't believe in that. I don't. I think that church is two or more people talking about spirituality and nature and life. I think that's church. Like, I do. I think that's church. I think when people get together and talk about something bigger than them, that's church. And I think that what I'm going to be doing as I travel the world, yeah, I'm going to travel the world, talking to people about my transitions and what my creator has done for me, that I'm going to end up having a following. I got this feeling that I'm going to have a following that will end up being a non-denominational church one day. Isn't that crazy? I know. So anyway, and what I was talking about and dealing with all these obstacles, it's kind of how I launched my new business. And it's like, I knew that it was coming, but I didn't. And so in this video blog, it's a Sapphire Says blog. And even though we're doing a full catch up for the last month, I'm going to name this, There's Power in Your Words. There is power in your words. There are things that you say and do that attract things in the universe to you. And people don't fully believe that, you know. You'll hear people often say, speak life over your situations. Don't keep saying that because if you say it, it becomes a reality. People will tell you, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Yo, that is so true. It is true. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. It is true. And that's why it's so important to stop talking negatively to ourselves, to stop doubting ourselves, because we can be our own worst enemy. The world will never make you feel as little as you make yourself feel, you know? And so you have to constantly remind yourself that you are great, you are valuable, that you can do anything, that anything is achievable, even if it seems totally out of your league, you know? You just got to figure out what steps to get there. Like, I was telling somebody over the phone this weekend the story of when I went to Vegas. And I know a lot of you know this, but I answered an ad on Craigslist back in 2008. I was trying to be a model. I had just started the fetish business, and I'm doing like bondage sites and stuff. And I'm on Craigslist looking for a new gig, And I saw a gig saying that they were looking for models to work some convention in Vegas in January. And this is like early December. Mind you, I'm still kind of new to the industry, so it didn't even dawn on me what convention that they were booking girls for in Vegas in January, right? Like, I'm so stupid, right? So I applied for the ad, and I talked to the guy, and we had a great conversation, but he ended up telling me he picked somebody else. I said, cool. Can you keep me in mind for future projects? And he said, sure. And so I want you to understand, this was 2008. This is back when my Boost phone had minutes, and you paid by the minute. You know, go, let me get $50 or 200 minutes, or you remember that, right? So when he called me back like a week later, and I'm headed down into the subway station. Like, if he'd have waited another minute, I wouldn't even have got the call. I'm going underground into the train, and he calls, and I probably have like 20 minutes left on my phone. But I'm going to sit here and talk to this man, right? So he's like, do you still want to go to Vegas? And I'm like, sure. And he's like, we would need you to fly out next week. I want to overnight you the contract and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, mind you, I didn't have nothing back then. Like, I didn't. I mean, I was living with somebody else. This is 2008. I had just started Sapphire for real not too long before that. I didn't have nothing. It was really weird. No, this was 2009. Excuse me, 2009. No, it was December 2008 because I went in 2009. Okay. So, we sit and I accepted the offer. They sent me the contract. I tried to get some funds together, but it was really too quick. Like, I had to leave in less than a week, and I ended up going to Vegas with $50 in my pocket, with nothing but a contract that said that once I got there, all my expenses were covered, my condo was covered, my transportation was covered, and I didn't know these people, I just had to take a chance. And you have to be willing to step out on faith sometimes and to do these things. And I tell people, I went to Vegas and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I was open. I was willing. I trusted myself. I knew that I was a big girl, And so, and starting this new business, it's like any struggle and problem that I've had and I've tried to overcome, I have, in a weird way. I've always been the one to take these weird risks and to chase my dreams. Like, going to Vegas was probably the scariest thing I'd ever done. I mean, here I am on my first trip by myself, out of town, with strangers. I didn't know one person in Vegas. I actually, while I was there for 7 days, every night after we came back from the conventions, I actually called the chat line back home in Baltimore. Like, that's how lonely and bored I was. But I was determined to get what was meant for me. And it was weird because I wasn't supposed to get paid. It was just a great promo opportunity with all these things included, which cost a lot more than I would have charged to go, And I ended up, when I got to Vegas, the first person I met in Vegas was Ron Jeremy. Like, literally, I had been in Vegas for 2 hours. And everybody was so nice. And I made money, and I didn't have to do anything. I made money talking. It was affiliate marketing. When I made $1,500 doing an affiliate marketing deal. And it was weird. And when I came home, everybody knew me. It was kind of like weird, but it made me understand that you got to take these risks and chances and just go for it. Like, even when it seems like you have nothing, you have opportunity, Opportunity can sometimes be better than money. It really can. And it's weird how people chase money instead of chasing opportunities and things that make them happy. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so that's part of what I wanted to, express is that you have to be willing to step out even when things don't look possible, feasible. I would have never thought I'd end up in Vegas at the porn conventions, all expense paid, partying with celebrities, or that taking this chance where I hop on a plane with $50 in my pocket would set my career for the next years. But it did. Like, that one little opportunity and chance, it really set me straight for years. Like, I rode off of that for a long time. It was really weird. Like, it's really weird. And so now, I have this new stuff, and I've been running my mouth for 20 minutes already. I got so much stuff I want to tell y'all. It looked like I'm going to have to do 2 videos. So what I'm going to do in this video is finish telling you about what I'm on track for, because I don't want you to be like, she's everywhere. So you have to step out on faith, and you have to go for what you really want. And with me doing that for the last 10 years, damn near, I've started a new business. And it kind of just happened by accident. Again, I'm being myself. Over the last couple of years, I've been writing my blogs about living life as me, with mental illness and trying to be successful, and my struggles with life and dating and my kid, and so I stepped out on faith again last month, right? Because you got to. You can't be afraid to get what you want, even if it doesn't look like it's in your price range or your field of vision. You just got to want it. So, earlier this year, I told y'all, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. God told me I'm going to travel the world and be a motivational speaker. And I'm going to go around telling everybody, especially women, that my Creator saved me from myself. And I'm going to tell people all about how I came through my struggles to still be successful, even though I am still battling my struggles. See, people think that you have to win and succeed at something before you can be great. The fact that you are daily conquering your struggles makes you great. There is no specific point you get to where you become awesome. You're awesome because you're a fighter. You're awesome because you're victorious daily. Take them daily wins. So I'm going to tell you, I went to a workshop not too long ago that made me feel really powerful. And I came out of it saying, I'm going to publish my book, and then I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I guess it happened backwards. Because I am publishing the book. But I didn't get the book to the editor until a week ago. But you know what I got 3.5 weeks ago? I got invited to speak on a panel of women to empower other women. So I actually have a flyer here for you guys. Hold on, I'm going to try to show you. So in June, on June 24th, I'll be headed up to Pittsburgh to speak on the I Didn't Know My Own Strength tour with Shanice. And I'm so excited because she's invited me and a couple of other women to sit on a panel and to discuss being successful and overcoming obstacles and tell our stories to other women. And she's been doing this tour for like 2 years across the country, so I'm really excited to be on it. I got my flyer the other day. I know, right? Like Melanie Hill. I's gonna be a speaker. I see that I have other things that already people are hitting me up for and trying to get me involved. And I'm like, that is so cool. Because I just know that some more gigs are going to come in, and I'm going to be traveling the world as a speaker soon. Like, I told y'all I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it, and it's going to happen. And so I'm so proud of myself. And so because I believe in pushing myself and chasing down what I want, when I was asked to speak, there was some other opportunities available. I could get a vending table if I spent a couple dollars. They didn't charge me to speak. They invited me to speak. But if I get a table for $50 and bring some products, I can even make some extra money here. So I booked the table, right? Booked the table, not having no products, okay? I got nothing to even put on the table. But I got 3 months, right? In 3 months, I can get anything for that table. So what I did was I bought the vendor's table. And then I decided that I was going to publish 2 books before June 24th. And so my first book, Sapphire, is already in my editor's hands. I got my cover back the other day. I'm really excited. You want to see the Sapphire cover? Hold on. I'm so excited. I got my book. It'll be out in April. And I'm really pumped about that. Let me see. I want to show you the front and back cover, but I think I only saved the front cover to my phone. So I'll show you later. But this is the front cover. And I'm so excited. It's a book of erotic stories. It's a compilation from my magazine column because, for those who keep up, I do have a monthly magazine column where I write erotic stories and articles and that type thing. I actually write for 5 urban magazines, but we'll talk about that in the next video because I actually want to share one of the magazines with you too. So we'll talk about that in the next video. And my book is coming out next month. And then I have another book that I'm releasing in May called Stronger Than My Struggles. And the one in May is going to be for the event in June, because now that I have people who actually are paying attention to my story and my videos, and I have to put together something for them. And I'm going to be doing a series of ebooks too, little free downloads and stuff just to help out. But there will be books available before the summer's over. I'm planning to release 3 before my birthday in August, right? And so with the Stronger Than My Struggles thing, the first thing I did was bought the website, so nobody else could get it. So I bought website, StrongerThanMyStruggles.com, and it's coming soon. I'm going to build it in the next week or 2. It's coming. And so I bought Stronger Than My Struggles, and then I'm building a Facebook group. And so I got me some promo postcards that says, join my Facebook group, Stronger Than My Struggles. And I'm in the process of working on that now and building it. But I've already claimed it, got the name sitting there. And I got me some promo material done because if I'm going to be going out to write and speak and talk to people, I want them to have, things to show people about me and to send out. And I'm going to send them out to a couple of companies and stuff and try to pitch myself. And you see, I got my little promo stuff with my story on the back, And, well, I got new business cards, but I don't want y'all to see my phone number, so I'm not going to put them out. But I got some great new business cards, and they kind of look like this. And I got my banner for when I go to events and stuff. Stronger Than My Struggles. So I'm really excited about all the stuff that I got going on right now. And I'm going to tell you, I am taking sponsorships and donations because I do all of this by myself. And I'm legally disabled, so I get a disability check. And then the rest of the money comes in from however I make it, So I'm definitely taking sponsorships, donations. If you know about some organizations that, could use me. I'm fully operational and would love to partner with people who deal with mental illness. I suffer from PTSD, depression, anxiety disorder. They say I have a dissociative identity disorder, which is multiple personalities. I'm raising a son who is struggling with mental illness at the same time. It runs in my family. I am an advocate and a sympathizer. I'm an advocate and a sympathizer for those who struggle with mental illness and those who don't know they're struggling with mental illness. A lot of people who deal with extreme trauma, especially growing up, don't realize that they have PTSD or anxiety disorder, or that their depression is more serious than they think. So again, I'm here not only as an advocate for mental illness, but for women and children who have suffered through trauma. My life, I almost died in a fire at 7. My mother, she was very abusive mentally and emotionally. She felt like we had to move across the street from the house that burnt down around me. She said that I burnt the house down. I should have to look at it every day. There are things that mentally scar a person for life, and they leave us screwed up as adults. And we have to learn how to deal with these things, because they don't make us. They're a part of us. And you can replace bad memories with good thoughts. And, there are all kinds of processes that you can put yourself through. And therapy is important. It is. Especially in the black community. We live in a society where black people are supposed to pretend that they don't have mental illness, or they're not depressed, or we were supposed to be stigmatized and to be afraid to talk to somebody and get help and all that kind of stuff. Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be. I can't tell you where I would be right now if I didn't go to therapy 7 years ago. I really can't. I might be locked in somebody's mental institution by now, because I was really that far off, and I was close to killing somebody. When I got help, I walked into the therapist's office and said, I really need to see somebody, or I'm going to end up killing somebody. It was that serious. And so don't be afraid to get help. Don't be so worried about what other people are going to say about you, because they'll say worse when you snap. They'll say worse when you're locked away for good. Don't be afraid to get the help you need, And I was talking about this last week on the Artist Exchange radio show. I didn't want to say it wrong. Last week, that just passed Saturday, 3 days ago, Saturday, I was on the Artist Exchange radio show to talk about my story and about me going to start speaking to groups about struggling with mental illness and overcoming to be successful. So they asked me to come back on the 31st of this month as a co-host. I know, from the interview to co-host. But they asked me to come back and co-host because we had such a great time and such a great conversation. And these topics are really, really important to me, And I really would like to get more into the public domain. I do these videos. I go out. I mentor girls. I still have, a small group of girls who I mentor. And it's beautiful. I love that these women from all around the country seek me out and ask me for help or guidance or to be their sounding board. I love it. I really do. And I want to become more active and involved. A hard part for me is being in the house so much because of my illness. Like, I hide sometimes. I isolate. And I'm looking to become more of a part of something. And that's hard for me with my mental illness. So I need somebody to step up and kind of, hold my hand a little too. The mentor does need a mentor. You dig me? But I just, this morning, I wanted to fill you all in on all the stuff I got going on. But I want you to watch the videos too. So I don't want to make it an hour long. So I'm going to cut this. And I'm going to record another one for you. And I just want you to know that, Sapphire loves you. Like, I love you like I love me. I do. I love all of you like I love me. Because we live in this world together. We're not individuals. People like to look at their life like it's, this isolated thing. We all connect somehow. We do. And like I said on the radio the other day, I am focused on helping women and children. And someone asked me, why not men? I help men too. They're not my focus. I'm focused on helping women and children because there's too many single mothers out here. And that means that they are raising little boys and little girls by themselves. And these women have been through so much and they overcome so much every day to be productive, successful parents. and they're fighting. They're fighting mental illness. They're fighting hunger. They're fighting the streets for their kids. And at the same time, they've been through so much that they're repeating screwed up cycles. And their kids are suffering. So I'm not really focused on helping the men. I'm focused on helping the women. Because when you help women, you help children. And it's so important that we break these cycles that are in the homes. You know, I think that's where I'm lost with my son. My mother, she was horrible. My father was not there. And so many bad things happened to me as a kid that I promised myself my son would never, you know. And my son, look, I never planned to even feed my son oodles and noodles, okay? I grew up in the hood. I don't eat noodles. My son wasn't going to eat noodles. I think his father gave him noodles. My son like noodles now. It's an embarrassment to me. Okay? It's an embarrassment to me because I have worked so hard to make sure my son never suffered the things I suffered, which means eating subpar food like noodles, you know? But, you know, you work so hard for your kids to not go through what you went through. And a lot of us are failing. A lot of us failing. No matter how hard we work, you know, we realize that these kids going to be themselves. And that can be a good thing. Because had I come out like I was raised, I'd be fucked. Thank God I was myself and not how my parents raised me. I'm trying to raise my kid the way I am now. Not the way I was raised, but, you know. You don't always get what you sign up for. But I love them, and I'm still here. You know, I'm fighting together. So anyway, I got more videos to record, like, right now. Like, right now. Like, right now. So don't go nowhere. Don't forget, I'm stronger than my struggles, and you are too.